everybody. I am Mo Garrity, Recreation Coordinator and Yoga Teacher here at the Chilson Center. We sure miss everybody. So in these uncertain times, when everybody's feeling maybe a little bit stressed, I invite you to join me for this gentle yoga practice that will help you de-stress a little bit and hopefully help you maintain a healthy immunity. So we're going to get started by sitting up nice and tall. As you can see here, I've got some blankets because some people aren't so comfortable sitting in this position. I invite you to take your the leg that you're not as comfortable with crossing in front, and cross that one in front because we get kind of off kilter because we always cross the same one in front. So all I want you to do is either bring your eye gaze to the floor in front of you or close your eyes all together. Hands can just rest on your legs and just imagine for a moment that your spine can get longer and longer. So I want you to close your eyes or bring that soft gaze in front of you. And then inhale, and as you inhale, let your sit bones descend down towards the ground and let your spine elongate as if you've got a little string attached to your head and pulling you up towards the sky. And as you do this, focus on your breath. Allow your breath to deepen. You're not forcing the breath, you're just gently expanding the breath. And then as you expand the breath, feel the belly expand a little bit and then release. Feel the ribs expand a little bit. Even feel the chest lift a little bit as you inhale. And then as you exhale, keep that extension in your spine. And now as you're focusing on your breath, also perhaps you can set an intention for how you'd like to go through this uncertain times that we have right now. Perhaps it's relax. My intention lately has been pain-free and at peace, and I say that as often as I can. So think about what your intention might be through the next few weeks and set that intention and say it to yourselves 3 times and imagine it can come with you through your yoga practice today. Keeping that breath nice and full. So we'll begin now by moving that blanket off to the side if you happen to have one. We're going to roll back onto our backs. So get down to your back as comfortable as you can. And separate your feet just a little bit. Hands can come out by your sides. Inhale, and as you exhale, take your knees over towards one side. And then inhale back to center, exhale the opposite direction. Now here, if you turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees, you get a little extra opening there. So inhaling as you come center and exhaling as you come to the side. So I want you to know that this is the option number 1. You can always go back to this if you would like. So now we're going to hug our knees in towards our chest. Hug those in as much as you can. Just notice how close those thighs get to your rib cage. Now we're going to open the arms out to the side. Palms are facing up, hands in line with your shoulders. Inhale, and as you exhale, drop your knees over to the right. Look towards your left. And then inhale back to center. Drop your knees to the left as you look towards your right. And then inhale back to center. This time, as you take your legs to the right, hold them about 1 inch up off the ground and look left. And then come back to center and take it the opposite direction. So again, you can drop your knees down if you need to. You can place your feet back down on the ground if you need to. Inhaling center as you take your legs the opposite direction, stretching from hand to hand. Let's take this one more time in both directions. Coming over to one side, looking the opposite side, coming back to center. And then this time as you come back to center, give yourselves a big hug here with your knees. Nice. From here, let your left leg come out in front. Hug your right knee in towards you. Flex your right foot and extend that leg up towards the ceiling. Feel that nice stretch down the back of your hamstring. If your leg needs to stay bent, that's fine. If it happens to stretch straight, if you happen to be able to take that leg back a little further, feel free to do that as well. Close your eyes again and take a few deep breaths here. And feel the back of that hamstring opening up. Now bend that knee again. Let your opposite leg come up to join you. Give yourself that little knee hug again. Extend your right leg out and flex your left foot as you extend that leg up. Stretching up through that heel. Feel that nice stretch. You might even notice if there's a difference between one side and the other. Oftentimes there is. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Pulling that leg back just a little further if you can. You don't have to go to the maximum edge of your stretch. Even going to the middle part of your stretch is totally fine. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then bending that knee, hug both knees in towards your chest. And if you're comfortable rocking up to seated, do so. Otherwise, roll to your side to come to seated. Now we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. You can put a blanket under your knees if you need to. Hands come right underneath the shoulders. Knees are right underneath the hips. Inhale, let yourself lift up into a cow pose. The shoulders pulled back, you're extending through your spine. And then on your exhale, pull your belly button up. Let your head begin to hang. And hold here in our cat pose. Lifting up through that chest, releasing through your head. And then inhale again, coming back into your cow pose. Exhale, lifting the chest, lifting the belly button, and let yourself feel that curve in your back. Beautiful stretch. And then we'll do this 2 more times. Exhaling, lifting up into that cat pose. Inhaling to cow, and exhaling to cat. And then come to neutral spine here. From here, I want you to raise your right leg up and push that foot back. So this is a core strengthener as well. And now if it's comfortable for you to raise the left arm, go ahead and do that as well. Keep your ears in line with that arm and keep your eye gaze down at the ground. Stretch out through that left hand as you stretch back through that right leg. Now hug your belly button in and see if you can arch up just a tiny bit. If that doesn't feel good, go back to where we just were. And then exhale, release that hand down. Let yourself come into your cow for just a moment. And exhale, come into that cat. Hold your cat for a moment and breathe into your back. Then come back to that neutral spine. Left leg comes back and right arm goes forward. You're looking straight down at the mat. Push back through that left foot. Stretch forward through that right hand. And again, if you need to, you can put one hand down or you can put the leg down at any time. Remember, you don't have to hold this as long as I do. You're in charge of your body. Pay attention to that. Lifting up, arching up, if that feels good for you. If it doesn't, then I want you to come right back into that neutral spine. And then release back down. Separate your knees for a moment. Let your hands walk out in front. Drop your forehead to the ground. You can always put a blanket under your head if need be. And this is our happy puppy pose. So your sit bones are lifted up away from your heels. For some people, if you have knee issues, that's where you want to stay. Otherwise, if your knees still cooperate, you're going to walk yourselves back just a little bit. Release your head into our child's pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Breathing into your back. Now walk those hands back. If you happen to have a block, you can also use a tissue box if you need to, or anything else you might have at home. But if you happen to have a block, put that out in front. We're going to tuck the toes. And I'm going to give you the knee-friendly option first. Knee-friendly option is to come up and place your elbows on your shins. So those of you whose knees still cooperate, say thank you, and come into your squat here. Yeah, if your knees are still cooperating, that's a very nice thing. So now if you have a block, or if you think you might need one, or whatever you can use in the shape of a block, bring it in front. You're going to turn those toes so the outsides of your feet are parallel with the edges of the mat. Let yourself come into a nice flat back position here. Some of you might need to bring your hands onto your thighs instead of a block, or get a higher block. Now from here, I want you to bend your knees deeply, getting those ribs as close to your thighs as you can. Release your head down. Some of you might be able to take the hands to the ground, and some of you might be able to straighten the legs. But only do so if you can keep those ribs close to those thighs. Otherwise, use that block and keep those knees bent. Now bending your knees, move that block off to the side and push up to standing. Inhaling your arms up, your heart center. Close your eyes for just a moment and notice how your body feels right now. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Then bringing those hands down by your sides, opening your eyes. We're going to take your left leg out to the side and lift and open across your chest. Option 1, stay here with the toe on the ground. Option 2, raise that leg up and find a stationary spot in front of you to gaze at. Working our balance. You can tap that foot down at any time if you need to. Now bring that leg out in front so you're on this little tightrope. Kind of feel like we are on a tightrope sometimes. And from here, lifting up off of your heels if that feels good for you. Finding your place of balance. Ooh, boy, baby, I'm feeling a little off balance today. I wonder why. Slowly release. Take your right foot out to the side. Lift and open across your chest. Raise it only if that feels good for you. Find that stationary spot in front of you to gaze at. Keep your chest lifted, shoulders relaxed. And then bring that right leg around in front. Release your hands. So you might choose to stay here if you're feeling a little off balance. If you want to give it a try, lift up off of those heels. This kind of wakes up our toes a little bit, strengthens our feet and our legs. And then slowly release. From here, let your left foot come out so that the toes are on the ground, heel is on the ankle, or the foot comes to the inner calf, or perhaps you bring it all the way up to that inner thigh. Open through your chest as you release your hands. This is our winter tree. So if you have shoulder issues, you might keep your arms in winter tree. But perhaps you let that tree grow a little bit, those branches grow. Some of you might feel comfortable stretching the arms straight up and moving those arms a little closer to your ears. If that causes you shoulder problems, go ahead and open the arms up. Now we'll have those fingers wiggle a little bit as if they're the leaves of the trees reaching up for the sunlight. And then slowly release those arms down. Lift and open across your chest. And then from here, step that leg forward. From here, bring that right foot out to the side. Heel can stay on the ankle, foot to the inner calf if you'd like, or bring it all the way up to your inner thigh. Lift and open across your chest, shoulders are relaxed. Find that stationary spot in front of you. And once again, you decide where you want to be with your arms. Perhaps they stay in winter tree, perhaps they raise up, stretching up as if you're trying to touch the sky with your fingers. Getting nice and long through your tree, steady on that standing leg. And once again, let those fingers do their little reaching up as if they were the leaves of the trees. And then slowly release back down. Open through your chest, deep breath in, deep breath out. And now we're going to step your right leg forward and then your left. Hands come to your heart center. Inhale, as you exhale, bend your knees. Lift the center of the chest in the direction of those fingertips, and then release your hands onto your thighs and bend into this a little bit further if you can. Again, if you need that block, go ahead and bring it out in front of you. Forehead just releases down, and lift up, straightening those legs only if that feels good for you. Keep those knees bent if you need to. Now bend those knees, push down through those feet, raise all the way up, and exhale, hands come to your heart center. Inhale, arms come up. Take a hold of that right wrist with your left hand and stretch it over to the side. Look down at the ground, push down through that right foot. Feel that beautiful side stretch. And then inhale, lift up, and exhale, take it the opposite direction, looking down at the floor. Stretch out through the side body, breathe into the side ribs. And then inhale, lift up, exhale, hands come to heart center. From here, I want you to step your left leg back and raise those arms up, coming into warrior one position, pushing down through that back leg nice and straight. The ears stay in line with the shoulders as your eye gaze goes up towards the ceiling. And then just release your arms by your side, lift and open across your chest, inch your right foot forward just a couple inches, and then turn and open into our Virabhadrasana, Warrior Two, bending that right knee a little further if you can. Again, firming that back leg, gazing out over that right hand as if you were gazing off to the horizon. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Coming out of the pose anytime if you need to. Now bring left hand onto left thigh. Right arm's going to come over the head into our reverse warrior. Perhaps you bend that knee just a little bit. Back leg is nice and firm. And now bring right hand or right elbow onto that thigh. Bring left arm up over the head. Stretch. Again, you might drop into this a little further. Turn to look up at that bicep if that feels good. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Now take that arm, release it down, and let your shoulder just relax here. Your hand kind of does this natural little pendulum thing here when you let it hang. It's a beautiful release for your shoulder. Now push into your right foot as you straighten your right leg. Open up into your triangle pose. Lengthen from hand to hand. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Ears stay in line with your shoulders, and your back of your body is as if it was up against an imaginary wall. Now slowly release back into your warrior two. Then coming back onto the ball of the back foot, and then step your foot forward. On the exhale, hands come to your heart center. Close your eyes for just a moment and notice how your body feels, right versus the left. And then opening those eyes again, raise those arms up, and exhale, hands come down. From here, take your hands onto your thighs and come into a flat back. If you need to keep the knees slightly bent and your body lifted, do so. If you can have a flat back here, go ahead and do so. Then bend the knees, releasing everything down. Use that block if you need to. Right leg now steps back, and we raise up into our Virabhadrasana, warrior one on this side. Gazing upward, back leg is firmed. Relax the grip of your toes as much as you can. Now inch that foot forward, just about 2 inches, and open up into Virabhadrasana, warrior two on this side. Gazing out over your left hand. At any time, if you want to lower the arms, you certainly can. Maybe even straighten that leg for a moment. That left knee pulls towards your pinky toe to keep that inner thigh open. Now bring right hand onto right thigh, left hand over the head. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And now bring left hand or elbow onto that thigh. Right arm over the head. Reach out, dropping that hip if you can. Left knee still pulling towards your left pinky toe. Back leg is firm. Deep breath in, deep breath out. From here, let that arm release. Hold here for a moment. Let that arm just relax there. And then we're going to straighten that left leg. Open up into your triangle pose. So remember, you want to be open across your chest. The goal here is not to touch the ground and be closed off. So sometimes you might need to raise up a little bit, or maybe even further, stretching from hand to hand, opening up. Now bending that left knee back into our warrior two. And then from here, pivot and turn onto the ball of the back foot if you can. Deep breath in, deep breath out. From here, those arms are going to come down to the ground and step back into downward facing dog. Now those of you who feel like you need to go down into happy puppy or back to child's pose, you can do that as well. Hold here for a moment. Deep breath in, broaden those shoulders so your head can relax. And then we're going to drop into a plank. Drop your knees and gracefully lower yourselves to the floor. That's the key word. So from here, bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders, press down through your feet, and pull your belly button forward. This is our baby cobra. That's option one. Option two, hands come by your chest, elbows glued to the side of the body. Inhale, lift forehead, nose, chin, and chest. If you've got back issues, you might choose to stay here, or lift the ribs away from the ground and come up into our cobra. Watch those shoulders, keep them soft, down away from your ears. Elbows glued into the side of the body as you gaze up with your eyes. Deep breath in, deep breath out. From here, lifting up, hug your belly in a wide cat pose. Lift the hips and come into that downward dog. Perhaps you want to walk your dog for a moment. Pressing one heel down. And then walk your feet forward towards your hands, walking your feet forward. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Close your eyes for just a moment. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale the arms up again. And exhale, bending your knees, step back, left foot. Arms open up right into your Virabhadrasana, Warrior Two. Now turn so that your toes are facing the long corners of your mat. Stretch those hands up. And then on your exhale, drop down and maybe move side to side. Those knees are pulling back. You might put your hands on your thighs. Some of you might be able to get the elbows down there if that feels good. Just a nice little gentle inner thigh stretch. And then drop the hands to the floor. Turn the feet so the outside of the feet are lined up with the short ends of your mat. And slowly release into a nice little forward fold. Hips can shift forward only as far as it feels good for you. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Then slowly coming on up, turn to face the front of your mat. And again, on the ball of the back foot, bring that back leg forward. Hands come onto your shins, nice flat back. Now we're going to sit back into our heels, raise the arms up, and then bring them down to your heart center. Inhale up, stretch up and back, and exhale, hands to your heart center. Beautiful, deep breath in and out. From here, step your right leg back, arms raise up into your warrior. Then open up into Warrior Two, lift and open across your chest. Deep breath in, deep breath out. From here, slowly let those hands drop down, either child's pose on your knees or come back to downward facing dog. Then bend the knees, drop to the ground, release back into child's pose or happy puppy pose if that feels good for you. Whatever feels best for you today. Listen to your body. Inhale, and as you exhale, walk your hands over to the right. Feel that nice stretch down the left side of your body. And then come back to center. Take it the opposite direction. Then coming back to center, we're going to come onto our backs once again. So let your feet come out here in front. Not quite yet. I've got one more treat for you. Hands can interlace behind the back of those legs. Sit up nice and tall. Walk your feet in. And perhaps those feet lift up off the ground. Maybe, maybe not. This is called Navasana boat pose. So everybody's boat can look different, right? So you can stay here. Perhaps you extend your legs up, pointing the toes and then pulling the toes back. You can stay there or release your arms or go full sail and extend your legs up. For some people that's a challenge, so coming back here, it's a good thing that all of our boats look different, right? Drop those feet down. Inhale, lift, and exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly. Roll yourself back down to the ground. Then hands are going to drop down by your sides. Walk those feet in. And then from here, press your belly button down. Begin to lift your hips away from the ground, pushing through your feet. Let your chin tuck just a little bit, and you're going to lift those hips up high into the sky. Once you feel like you've lifted as high as you can, take the arms above your head and slowly release back down. One vertebra at a time. Now once you're there, hands come back down again. You're going to do that one more time. So lifting up into that bridge position. Again, you can come in and out of that if you would like. Otherwise, we're going to hold the bridge by interlacing the hands, rocking the shoulders underneath of us, letting the chin drop down. And deep breath in and out. Those shin bones are perpendicular to the floor. Deep breath in. Bring your attention to that spot right between your eyebrows and see if you can allow it to relax just a little bit. Take those arms above your head and slowly release down, one vertebra at a time. Now once your tailbone is on the ground, extend your legs forward. Inhale as you exhale, arch through your neck and look back behind you. And as you do that, stretch your feet forward. Now let your neck come to neutral position. Take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Stretch that right hand back as you stretch your right foot forward. Get really long through the side of the body. Then release and take the opposite side. And then come back to center, bending those knees. I'd like you to take your right ankle over top of your left thigh. Right hand's going to push forward just gently, keeping your hip bones even. So you might choose to stay right here or lift that left leg up off the ground. Take that right hand through and hold on to the back of that leg, hugging that knee in towards you. Let your shoulders relax, let your neck relax, and then go ahead and circle that ankle of that free-floating foot there. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and then go ahead and circle it the opposite direction. Feels so good. And then release that leg down. Take that opposite leg to the ground, cross the other leg on top, just press forward with your hand, opening up the front of that hip. If you choose to stay there, that's fine. Or raise that leg up, reach your hand through the hole, the other hand comes around. And then really relax through your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Some of you might find that putting a blanket underneath your head is helpful. And then circle that ankle. And then the opposite direction. Nice, and then just relax. I want you to hug both knees in towards your chest. Now, one of my favorite poses, happy baby pose. So those hands come behind the back of the legs. The feet are facing the ceiling. Your choice is to stay here. Perhaps you reach up, grab a hold of the ankles. Maybe you can grab a hold of the feet. Now, one thing you probably all have noticed, if you've ever seen a baby in this position, they are rarely still. So if it feels good for you to move around just a little bit, it's a beautiful release for your back. And rarely is a baby in this position without a little smile on their face, right? Nice. A beautiful stretch for that back. Release your feet down. We're going to extend the legs forward and find yourself in a nice relaxed position. If you find that you need to do any last stretches to feel complete with your practice, do so. For some of you, if you have any low back issues, you might find bending the knees, letting the knees touch and the feet coming apart. That's a really lovely way to do your final relaxation. So what I'd like you to do here is first place your hands on your belly and take 3 deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. At this point, this is a great time for you to close your eyes again. And as you exhale, imagine you could let go of any tension or strain in your body. Imagine just letting it go with each exhale. And then allow your breath to go to normal breathing. And as your breath softens, allow your body to soften. Imagine that you're on a very soft surface. So your body just falls into that soft surface. Perhaps it's a beautiful sandy beach. Perhaps it's a big down comforter. Whatever it is, let yourself just fall towards that surface. And as you do so, let the tops and the bottoms of your feet relax. Allow your shins and your calves to relax. Your thighs and your hamstrings relax. Gluteal muscles, pelvic region relax. Abdomen releases, lower back relaxes. The chest and shoulders relax. And imagine from the weight of your head on the ground, down the right and the left side of your spine, completely releasing. From the side of your ears, down to your hands, relaxing. All the muscles of your neck release. And then finally, all the facial muscles begin to let go. Your cheeks and your chin, your jaw relaxes. Let your eyes just sink deeply into their sockets as they relax. Temple and forehead relax. Just notice your soft inhale and exhale. Let that be all there is right now. The feel of the sound of your inhale and exhale, letting go of everything else. Anytime any thoughts come to your mind or any sounds, just bring your attention back to your breathing and allow yourself to become perfectly still, completely letting go.